So good afternoon here from South Africa, back at home at last. So you'll see me in my regular surroundings. Merry, very merry and blessed Christmas to everybody out there. It's Christmas Eve, and we really need to be celebrating and spending this time with our families. I'd like to wish you all a very merry and blessed Christmas time. Now, there was a reason for me just to make this live video. I wanted to not take up a lot of time, but it's really something I'd like to get out there, because as you've probably seen by now, anybody who's watching the crypto markets, is that it does not take a day off. It doesn't take an hour off, actually. So this is important for me just to discuss these few points. I'm going to try and keep it to about 10 minutes. No longer than that, hopefully. And yeah, please feel free to, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I won't be responding to them in this video, but I will make sure anything under the comments that I'll respond to those as far as possible afterwards. So yes, thank you for watching, and if you're watching belated, also thank you for tuning in. Feel free to share this video if you like. Right, so okay, the last week or so was quite tumultuous in the cryptocurrency markets. I have less than a week ago predicted a 20 to 40% pullback in the crypto markets, just for the simple reason that's the way it's been going over the past year or so that I've been watching it. I'm not doing these kind of predictions in the public space because I don't want to be somebody who contributes to negatively to the markets. In any event, if you were the friend that was with me when I was making this prediction, feel free to comment. Right, in any case, so what we have seen is that from an all-time high that the crypto markets have achieved of about $637 billion, close to $640 billion, just about a week ago, it's dropped as low as $423 billion just a couple of days ago, before rebounding. It's still not consolidating, but it's back on about 543 billion as we speak. Now the biggest contributor, the biggest loser in this space was obviously Bitcoin. Everybody obviously knows by now that Bitcoin has pulled back quite considerably. Now, in my involvement in Bitcoin, it is, in just about a year and a half, it's about the 6th time that Bitcoin has pulled back in value 20% or more, if I'm counting correctly. So it's not the first time, and it's not the last. For people that came into the market quite late, just don't be scared by this, guys. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. And while I'm looking at Bitcoin now, it's about $13,800. The interesting thing is it's still almost 40% higher than it was about a month ago. So it's all relative, isn't it? I'm getting so tired of hearing bubble. Everybody shouting bubble. People that has been calling Bitcoin a bubble, simply, I'm sorry to say, guys, but they are not taking the time. They haven't taken the time to try and understand what this market is about, what the potential is in a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's current challenges continue and is not being resolved by us, the Bitcoin community, then yes, it is overvalued, most likely. Unless if people more increasingly start to see Bitcoin as a store of value, an alternative to offshore banking, if you like, a much easier and still a cheaper alternative to offshore banking. The second that you buy your Bitcoin, you have an offshore bank account, which is in no jurisdiction whatsoever. It's decentralized and controlled by mathematics laws and the blockchain, which is a decentralized platform. So as a store of wealth, a store of value, Bitcoin is probably most suited at this point in time. What we must keep in mind as well is that Bitcoin is also the main trading currency on all these exchanges. Everybody who wants to trade in, purchase, sell altcoins have to do so using Bitcoin. It is the gold standard of the trading of the exchanges, which means there's still going to be an additional a requirement for Bitcoin, or a demand for Bitcoin, even if only on those platforms. Now, what we've seen with Bitcoin, if I can just look at what the market says at the moment, its highest was close to 20K. It was 19,700 thousand just 7 days ago. Actually, it dropped as low as $12,800 a couple of days ago. It's climbed a bit and it's now dropped a bit again on $13,700. Now, the pricing of Bitcoin, or the costing of the transactions of Bitcoin, as well as the timing of these transactions, does make it absolutely impractical for daily transactional purposes. Using it as a store of value, putting your Bitcoin, your cash in Bitcoin, keeping it to hedge you against inflation is probably the most practical purpose for it. Of course, not if the value is volatile as it is at the moment. So you got to make your own decision as far as this is concerned. I believe that there's a couple of things that the Bitcoin community can do, and I'm going to share those with you today for all of us to contribute to the space positively and blow some new life into Bitcoin in order to make it more scalable, to make it more efficient, to make the transaction speed quicker, less transactions in the waiting area or the mempool, and the cost much lower as well. I'll share those with you shortly. Right. Yes, so that's what I wanted to share with you with regards to Bitcoin. If you do have Bitcoin, if you are invested in Bitcoin, you're either holding it or you are mining it or trading in it. But specifically, if you're holding Bitcoin or mining it, there's a couple of avenues I'm taking, which I'm recommending. Just from my personal experience. Of course, I cannot give financial advice. Nobody can give financial advice in this space. So anything you hear, you have to do your own research and make sure that you are comfortable with the approach that you're about to take. If you're having Bitcoin, guys, don't panic. This might be your first time you're going through a Bitcoin correction. Like I said, it's happened before. It's happened 5 times this year already. I would take some of my Bitcoin and invest into a couple of altcoins. Look at the top 10 or top 20 altcoins. I've got a couple that I'm invested in, that I've believed in for quite a while now, and which I'm invested in. I'm happy to discuss those with you as well. But divest some of your mining returns and some of your Bitcoin into altcoins. Number one. And number two, what each Bitcoin hodler has to do, and somebody mining in Bitcoin or trading, is look for a Bitcoin wallet as well as an exchange account that is making use of the SegWit methodology or the SegWit technology. If all of us get our Bitcoin transactions on the SegWit platform, we will contribute to higher speed, efficiency, and much lower cost. Now, I will be posting under this video, I'll be posting a few of these exchanges and a few of these wallets that's available. So that's a second avenue I would also take in supporting Bitcoin. Third avenue, something I would not do, is sell my Bitcoin and get back some pounds or sterling or US dollar or euro or South African rands or yen or whatever the case might be. Don't do that, guys. I wouldn't do that. Simply, the purpose of cryptocurrencies is to start moving outside of the banking systems with some of our assets at least. Don't bring it back into the banking system. And if you have to bring it back in order to pay off debts or because you need the money, then give yourself a quick pinch, because you were never supposed to invest funds in the crypto space, which you cannot afford to say goodbye to or to lose. Because let's face it, there's nobody that's giving you any guarantees in the space. I'm watching the markets closely on a daily basis. I'm on a couple of groups as well. Some of these guys are also watching this video. We'll probably be watching it. We're sharing a lot of this information as and when we get it, and we're continuously trying to reposition ourselves in the most appropriate way. You get news on a daily basis. Mike Novogratz, for instance, saying that he's halting his Bitcoin hedge fund. That has had an adverse effect on the market the past day or so. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. So just sit tight if you have Bitcoin. If you don't want to divest into other currencies, rather just sit tight in your Bitcoin. That's what I suggest as well at this point in time. I'm going to also share with you a picture which is about all about taking risk. Guys, I was happy to move into this space, to take some risk, venture into the unknown. Again, I will not be doing it with money that I cannot afford to lose and that I cannot afford to say goodbye to, at least. And because of my efforts and a bit of good luck, a bit of blessing over the past year and a half, I've been able to build quite a few profits in this area. I will be, over the next week or so, I'm aiming to do a couple of YouTube videos which I'll put on YouTube. Feel free to look me up on YouTube and just join the channel so you can get those videos as well. I'll be discussing various topics, from ICOs to trading to just general crypto news, to mining, etc. And it might just be that, it'll be my aim to put some valuable information on there for you guys. So any questions that you have, please feel free to inbox me or to drop them under this video, and I will be sure to try and respond as best I can. So have a great Christmas, rest out well, and be safe wherever you go, whatever you do, and I'll hopefully look forward to speak to you soon.